Yes guys, how's it going? Welcome back to a new video, bright and early on this Sunday morning. A cup of tea for me, makes a change from yesterday when I was in Dublin. It was all about the Guinness while I was over there. Massive thank you to all of the Irish mags who have left many comments saying they hope I had a good time. I had a mint time. I will say, it was a flying visit. Anyone who's in Newcastle, or to be fair, I'm sure they do flights from all over the place, not just Newcastle, 40 quid. £40, that's how much I paid to go to Dublin first thing yesterday morning, come back late last night. Food, drink, plenty to do. Can't wait to go back. So thank you to everyone who messaged saying they hoped I had a good time. I had a great time. I did post some extra content over on Instagram, Patreon, members. I know loads of you guys went over to Patreon and checked it out. So if you haven't checked it out and you want to see what Rubenstein got up to when he went to Dublin, go and have a look. Fantastic day. What was unexpected about the day is this fire sale that Newcastle United appear to be having late in this January window. We've had, I know we keep touching on old stuff, but you know it's funny how things work out, isn't it? Because when Darren Eales did that interview about FFP, literally it has just started that fire in a lot of teams who've gone, who plays for Newcastle again? Because it sounds like they might be selling a few players. Next thing you know, we've got links coming out of our ears, and it's not how I thought this January window would end, but is this the catalyst, the spark that maybe Newcastle needed to get something done in terms of bringing players into the club? And there's a great debate. I would honestly go as far as Kieran Trippier, particularly 50-50. Callum Wilson is the big one coming out last night, reported that Newcastle have rejected another bid for another player that Newcastle have rejected for Callum Wilson. But is there some work to be done there? Is there some work to be done on the Trippier? We will talk about it in this video. Be sure to subscribe and drop a like if you do enjoy. As I say, I think it's going to be a crazy end to this January window. Hopefully, there's going to be more videos about us bringing players in as much as there is about these players potentially leaving, but we will wait and see. As I mentioned with the Trippier one, Trippier agrees to join Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich have said that they want to go for Trippier. Newcastle say that he's not for sale. Bayern Munich have said that they want to bring him in on loan. Newcastle have said, no way are we loaning you our, 33-year-old. And this is something we'll come on to later in the video with regard to Wilson and regard to Trippier. Because you could take one very much a view of, these are two winners. They are two winners. Trippier creates more chances in the Premier League than anybody else. Callum Wilson will find the net. We're in a season where we're had a bit of an easy point, but we want to try and break into the second half of the season with a good run. We're in the FA Cup. Is a player like Trippier and Wilson not exactly the two kind of players you need in your team? To be able to try and imagine if we did get to a semi-final of the FA Cup, a final of the FA Cup. Is Kieran Trippier standing in as your captain not exactly what the club needs? Or two aging players. We've got a fantastic list of youngsters making their way through. A Livramento coming in at right back is exactly the kind of player Newcastle want to see progress over the next few years. Wilson's a little bit different because it's Wilson and Isak and then Gordon. So if we were to let a Wilson go, I think we would have to bring a striker in. A young striker maybe, but someone would have to come in if Wilson left. But the reason I'm mentioning these points now is because with Trippier and what appears to be with Wilson, and this is why Newcastle have reportedly said no, that the Wilson situation seems similar to the Trippier one. Atletico Madrid want Wilson. Wilson is open to the conversation. Newcastle reject the bid. Atletico Madrid want Wilson on a loan deal. Newcastle do not want to sell Wilson on a loan deal. And that's what it's coming down to, is this idea of loan with obligation to buy. And with that would mean Newcastle aren't getting the money now. And that's what it just brings in, this extra factor of two-player Trippier, 33 years old, but has been so... I'm really kind of standoffish with the Trippier one. It doesn't sit with me because, as I say, despite the fact that that's actually the position we have a player to step in. You know, if you want anybody to bring in, it's Livramento. He's one of the brightest young talents in the country, never mind right back. He will be an England player soon, and he will be playing for England regularly soon enough, I've no doubt. I think he will step into the right back position for Newcastle without two. We've seen how good he is already. Played left back. I think right back will be great. He's a different player to Trippier. That's what I would say, is it would take a bit of time to get him in there, get him to be creating and doing quite as much as Trippier does in terms of crosses down that right-hand side. But I still just think that Trippier has been so monumental for us to just kind of take him up. But Wilson, love Wilson, but he's not fit. He's not fit enough. We've got half an Isak, half a Wilson. And if there's a chance to maybe, you know, let Wilson go and experience some different football, does Trippier want to go and try and win a league at Bayern? But that's what it comes down to. We're looking at this as a chance for us to go, ooh, maybe if we do move some of these aging players on, we've got a great list of youngsters that can come through. But if it's with loans with obligations to buy, we're not getting the money now. Then that's what we need, particularly for the Wilson case, because we'll have to replace him. I can't see, unless Newcastle are looking at it and going, you know what, we're mid-table. European football will be tough this season, and Atletico are offering us 5 million now, 10 million in the summer, 15 million for a Wilson whose contract ends in a year. He's injury prone, and I would actually go as far as say is even when Wilson has been playing, he hasn't looked fit. Probably for certainly the second half of this season, the second half of what we've had so far this season. I think when Wilson, you talk about people being tired and fatigued, I think when Wilson hasn't had a good night's rest, he looks like he's totally off the pace. So is that a chance to bring some money in? And look, the Trippier one, from what I'm hearing, they are taking it very seriously. Some of the numbers coming out for Trippier on Newcastle saying, yeah, we'll consider it for 25 million. Bearing in mind we bought him for 15 2 years ago. But if that's how much Bayern Munich want him, Bayern Munich are a big side. Will Bayern Munich give us 25 million this January window that we can shoot off and try and spend some of? And as much as I'm saying, would you consider it or not? I think 25 million for a 33-year-old Trippier, as much as I wanted to see him play here, retire here, become a coach here, work with Eddie Howe after he's finished. You know, that kind of money you don't see very often. And as I've said, I've just said how it doesn't sit well with me, because I think if we have hope to do something this season, I think having a Trippier in the team is crucial. You know, you talk about Botman, Isak, some of these young guys. That's the team you want to be building for the future. But I think it's very reckless to just go, you know, well, they can do it on their own. I think Isak probably does benefit from a hand-holding of Wilson from time to time. I think Trippier, even when Livermento's playing, Trippier's probably off to one side, helping him through it. So I think, to be honest, you let me know down below, what do you think of Wilson, what do you think of Trippier? If it had to be one of the two, I think I'd back the Wilson one. But I think what it all comes down to in the world of Newcastle, FFP, and everything else is, what is the number? How much are you giving us for this guy? You know, if it's a straight-up payment this January, the chances are it would be less than what it would be if it was this loan to obligation to buy. Can we take an immediate... Because I've seen people say, look, get the 5 million loan fee for Trippier or whatever, go and spend it on Phillips or go and do whatever. We do need midfielders desperately, and we do have a backup right back. But I just don't think you can underestimate what Trippier's also doing for the whole team. Although someone did make a comment to me the other day and say, you know, Trippier's been having a few blips of late. He hasn't quite looked himself. And, you know, is that part of the reason why he's being linked away? And has Trippier actually, in fact, looked for it? But that is a totally different way to look at things. Let me know your thoughts down below on the newest news that Newcastle have rejected the bid for Callum Wilson. Who will we be getting bids for again later today? Be sure to subscribe. I'll be hot on it. Yeah, I want to see Newcastle bring a player or two in. Eddie Howe said he always likes to bring at least one face every window to keep the squad fresh. I am confident we will get something in this window. The question is do we, or will we, or how many will we let go to facilitate that player coming in? Let me know your thoughts down below on Callum Wilson, Kieran Trippier. Subscribe so you don't miss out. Enjoy your Sunday, and I'll catch you guys later.